there guys, Ken here, your thrifty apprentice, and welcome back to another thrifty review. In today's video, we are taking an in-depth look at Mijello Gold Class or Mission Gold Class 24 count of watercolors. Mijello is a professional art company out of Korea, so this is going to be one of the professional videos, guys. When I source professional brands of product, I still try to keep it as budget friendly as I can. So let's just jump into the unboxing. I just want to throw that disclaimer out. Here we have a beautiful box. I really like the box. The cardboard is made of a really nice quality. It says Mijello Watercolors Gold Class Mission, colors found in nature, 7 milliliter tubes by 24 colors. You have a really little cute picture over here of what one of the tubes look like. Mission watercolors, 5 highest standards, the finest quality pigments with superior light fastness, color uniformity, exceptional solvency, non-toxic and non-chemical additives, cadmium-free cosmetic grade preservatives. And it does carry the stamp to let you know it conforms to the ASTM D4236 regulation for non-toxicity. Let's flip the box over on the back. Here we are going to see the Mission Gold Class 7 milliliter by 24 colors. You have an entire color swatch of all the colors included in the set. It comes with the color stock number for the company, the color name, which is in English, the pigment number, the light fast rating, the transparency rating as well. And then there's another rating here, which is a triangle. And next to that is a square. So one of those is transparency, and the other one I'm not really sure about. And then it also has a little letter in the corner to let you know what series each of the colors is in. Now I'm going to go to the website as I work with these paints and before I get into the review section, so I can figure out exactly what each of these symbols stands for, because one of them I'm not sure about. But I've been looking at some information on Mijello for quite some time, and I had them in my Amazon cart, and I went back and forth for months. They actually stayed in there about 1.5 years before I decided it was time for me to start reviewing more professional grade of products. So I did go ahead and order these. There's a little sticker over here that gives you the website, the Mijello company. It gives a telephone number, fax number, lets you know that the paints are made in Korea, and of course there's a UPC code. I do believe that these paints can be ordered open stock, so you can order tubes individually in order to refill your palette if you should run out of a color that you like. Let's go ahead and open it up here. So on the inside of the box, we have the same information that's on the front. There is a complete color list of all the colors in the box, including the color stock number. There's a lot of information down here. I'm going over those 5 basic principles that we covered on the front of the box, getting into a little bit more detail. I won't read that, but what I will do is take some really close pictures of that information, and I'll put it in a blog under the community section of the channel. Guys, please go ahead, check out the community section of the Thrifty Apprentice channel. I post a lot of good things there. I let you guys know about different information. I post some paintings that I do off camera. You can find a lot of product information and places to source some of the products you see me go over in reviews. So definitely check out the community section, and I will post this information there. Okay, we have a brochure. Beautiful brochure, actually. I love the green and the saturation. We open it up here. It's got like 5 keywords. It lets you know about the some of the things that come into the paint, what contributes to the quality of pigments with the superior light fastness, the uniformity. There is a complete color swatch of all colors in the Mission Gold range. This is really nice to have. That way, when I want to add colors to the palette, I can, you know, I know what's out there. I know what to go look for. Okay, so here is the chart. I love this. Okay, so inside the brochure, you're going to find the chart on the light fastness, transparency. So that triangle is the staining quality of the paint. Oh, that's amazing. Love that. The series, and then the color index number, which we know is pigment number. Love that. So they do include a lot of information about the paints. Yes, yes, yes. And for all of the colors, I notice here that they break them down like opaque mission watercolors, rich and subtle mission brown colors, refreshing and elegant mission cool colors, vibrant and pleasant mission warm colors. So really comprehensive little chart. Love that. That has a lot of information in it. I may snap some pictures of this and put it in the same post with this information as well. And of course, that information won't go up until after the review. I will let you guys know that. So here's another little brochure on the inside. Now this has several different languages that I do not understand other than, okay, so some of it is English. Some of it isn't. Number 2, well, that looked like English at first, but it's not. So no, none of this is in English. So we have no idea what that says. We're gonna move on. There is a nice little cloth here included on the inside. And then finally, we get to 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 24. There's a little space here for another tube, and I thought maybe one was missing, but this is a 24 count set, and that is 24 tubes. Those are 7 milliliter tubes. Let's take a look here. Really nice quality. I do believe that is a metal tube. I love the fact that they use the gold on top of the black. Makes it really easy to see, really easy to read. The information on the tube is black, written on white labels, again making it easy to read. There's a little color swatch on each of the tubes as to kind of give you an idea of what each of the color looks like. So the tubes will have artist watercolors. It'll let you know the name, and it'll give it to you in several different languages. In this case, Chinese white. It lets you know that the tubes are 7 milliliters. Again, you have the non-toxicity stamp of approval. It lets you know that the paints are made in Korea. We have the pigment number, in this case, PW6. It gives you the light fastness. This one has 5 stars. So I'm assuming, let's take a look and see here. The chart goes from 1 to 5, 1 being the least light fast, all the way up to 5 being extremely light fast. So this particular one, the Chinese white, has a light fast rating of extremely light fast. It lets you know that it is semi-transparent, so that's what the square with the little line through it will mean. Semi-staining, which is why half of the triangle is covered. Again, it gives you the stock number and then the series that each of the tubes is grouped into. And of course, you know, with any artist watercolor series, plays a big part in how much you will pay for each individual tube when you order it open stock. That's why it's always best, well, in my opinion anyway, especially with professional grade watercolors, to start off with a set, and then if you're going to build from there, because you're typically going to get a better value on the set prices than you will, you know, ordering each individual tube, especially considering the fact that the series will play a big part as to how much that tube cost. All right, so that is the unboxing portion of this video, guys. That's what we have here. So I have a palette that I ordered off of Amazon, which I've gotten a little dirty here. And it is a plastic palette. I forget the name of the palette, but I will link it in the video description for this video so that you guys will be able to source it if you would like to. It's a 24 well palette. It has some really deep wells in it. That's what I love. It's got some nice mixing room, a little thumb hole for if you're going to paint outside with it. But of course, I never take any palettes this big, but this is what I'm going to use to get the paints out of the tube and get them dried down, which is how I like to paint from them. and then we'll come back once that has taken place with the swatching, the demo painting, and then we'll eventually get to the review section of this video. All right, guys, I'll see you back for the swatching in just a few. All right, so I have taken time to do a few more paintings over the last couple of days in order to get just a little bit more experience with the paints before I decide to do the review section. So I did take the paints and put them into a palette. I'm not sure if I showed this before, but if not, I just ordered a palette off Amazon. Of course, this palette stained. Most plastic palettes do, but I don't care. I like plastic palettes and what have you. But that's to each their own. So the paints all dried down really nicely. Now, out of the tube, the paints all had different consistencies, which let you know right away that there were going to be different characteristics. This is a professional brand of paint, and you do not expect that all of the paints are going to be the same or act the same way. Not in my experience. So, you know, they all dried down really well. There's no cracking or anything like that. They have sort of a glaze to them, more of a semi-moist look, not necessarily drying down completely dry. So I really do love that, but they don't move. They are dry, they don't move. I can't turn this palette upside down. So I was really happy with it. I was really happy with the way the paints dried down. So from the dried down paints, I did swatch them. I swatched them twice, once for a little color reference to go inside the palette with them. And then I also swatched them on the swatching sheet, transferred the information to the swatching sheet. And you guys did get to see the swatching in this video. Paints are so pretty. I mean, guys, these are such pretty paints, and there's not a huge color shift from wet to dry. They stay really bright and vibrant and saturated. They performed so beautifully. They have a really nice flow to them. The paints are really transparent. You can layer them. As you can see, I did do a glazing layer here, and you can still see the black reference line through very clearly. So even with the glaze layer, a second layer, the paints were still transparent. They have a beautiful wet wash to each one of the colors. There's a nice range. We got split primary here, so you can pull colors out in order to do color mixing lessons if you didn't want to use the entire palette. They have some really nice convenient colors, and for the most part, all of the colors are transparent to semi-opaque. There was not one that I can see that was completely in a complete opaque color. So single pigments for the most part. In that split primary color palette that I was talking about, you do get single pigment colors. There are a lot of convenient mixes in here, I will say, but you do get some really nice color mixing, which we're going to look at in just a minute, from the colors that you get here. You know, some colors I feel like maybe could have been excluded in this particular set. Now, overall, I will say the paints are absolutely amazing, and I would probably want to add to this set by buying some of the tubes open stock, which you can do. Mission Go does have a website of their own. You can get the paints on Amazon, and I do believe I saw them on Blick. I'm open stock. I'm not exactly sure about that, so don't quote me on it. I'm trying to remember. I was looking all over at different sites, but you can buy the paints open stock, and I do plan to do that to add to the palette. For the star rating that they give, The majority of the paints are rated excellent, if I'm not mistaken. The majority of the paints are rated. Let me see. Let's take a look at the pamphlet on the inside. I know I saw. Okay, the light fast rating. Yes, so 5 stars was extremely light fast according to the star rating chart, and pretty much all of your colors are 5 stars. You have 1, 2 star. 2, I'm sorry, 2. So those are probably really fugitive colors, the bright opera and the bright clear violet, which the bright opera has BV10 and PR 122, and W550. Oh no, that's a stock number. So BV10 and PR 122. And then the bright clear violet has PV3:2, PB29, which we know is ultramarine blue, and PR 122, which is the same red mixture that's in that bright opera. So more than likely, the PR 122 is the super fugitive pigment. So that's why those two having the 2-star ratings. But other than that, everything else was 4 and 5 stars. And 4 is good light fast, and 5 being extremely light fast. So overall, nice pigment quality and payoff. Beautiful granulation to the ultramarine blue. We'll look at that. Let's go ahead and look at the color mixing chart. So the paints reacted really, really well to salt. Just amazing. And I did use that in the first demo painting, because I was so amazed with the way that effect worked. And it's just that the paints are so vibrant and so super pigmented that I was able to pull off a really beautiful beachy effect with that. The lift test we're going to do in just a minute. Color mixing, split primary here. I used the lemon yellow. Excuse me, I used the lemon yellow, the rose madder, and the ultramarine blue. Got a really beautiful and clean mixed orange here. The granulation in the green and the violet that I was able to achieve is so pretty because of the ultramarine blue, that PB29 pigment granulating like that. It was so pretty to me that I did it in a bigger swatch, because I just wanted to be able, I wanted you to be able to really see, you know, the texture in that pigment. Now, if you don't like that, you know, that's understandable. There are ways to mix colors in order to not get them, to have them be flat. But me personally, I happen to like granulation. So I picked some colors from the palette. I wanted to limit myself to just using 6 colors in order to do the first demo painting, which of course you guys are going to see in this video. Came out really beautifully. Just the paints were so fun to play with. Now it's amazing because here recently I'm getting into using and reviewing professional brands of paints, but I'm trying to make sure that they're still, although they're professional, they're still budget friendly, and they're still something that are in the affordable range, so that people who may want to make a step up from using student grade and budget grade paints into a more professional realm can still without spending an extreme amount of money. Guys, these paints are, they're beautiful. The effects I was able to achieve on the shell on the beach was absolutely amazing. If I'm not mistaken, I used a gel pen in order to get the highlights and to add the white to the ocean area, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, so the paints perform beautifully. As you can see, the colors are really saturated. I may even cut that out and use that as an example painting for something else a little later on down the line. So let's do the lift test really quickly. I need to find my scrubber. Here we go. Let's get this done real quick. Look, ooh, instantaneous. That was, I mean, that started lifting right away. Now that circle for the lift test was ultramarine blue. The madder, what am I calling that color? Rose madder, guys. I do not understand why I can't. That lifted really well. That was a really beautiful lift on that. So depending on the color, the colors are going to lift really nicely. Just listen, all intents purposes, beautiful, beautiful paint. The saturation is like to the extreme of that from like the Pretty Excellent set, which I still recommend. I think it is probably one of the best student grade sets on the market today. Wonderful paint, but as far as professional grade goes, making a step up, these are going to offer you much more saturation, much more dependable quality as far as the pigment and the light fastness is concerned. And we're going to get to the pricing in just a moment. So yes, that was the first painting. Let's look at a couple of other things. The next thing that I did with them, if I'm not mistaken, was this amaryllis flower. Now all of these are going to be up on the channel. And I did make these videos in batches, so I'm not sure which one will come up before the other one or how they're going to come up, but they're definitely coming. You will get to see this one being created, and you will also get to see the rainbow snake being created. So I just wanted to do something to just really play around with the colors, really give myself some experience with what I can do with them here. This is really a card front I made, in all honesty. Did some stamping in the background. Did a technique where I used tape to cover the snake in order to protect it, in order to do the stamping. You'll sort of get to see all of that in the speed demos for that painting example when it comes up. I really love the way the flower turned out. The paints. And here I use colored pencils to kind of accent the paints afterwards, which I tend to do in a lot of my paintings, because I guess you guys have figured it out by now. And I would say I'm probably more of a mixed media artist. I just lean more towards water-soluble products. Beautiful, I think. I really love this. This one I'm thinking about scanning in and blowing up on canvas. I'm really considering that. So that's what I did with them in order to get a little bit more experience, only to get to this part of the video and tell you how wonderful I think the paints are. You know, really decent quality paints. Now, if you already have a professional paint, then, you know, and you're happy with them, I say continue to use them. This might not be something that you will be interested in, not unless you're just looking for something else to add to your collection, or maybe a backup painting. But if you are a student, or if you are a beginner artist entering the intermediate realm, or intermediate entering the, you know, I've been painting for a while and you want to make a step up from student grade paints, I think that these are a wonderful option for consideration. Now, I'll never tell you that any paint is, you know, without its drawbacks. I personally know that Mijello does have a reputation behind it. It is Korea's, probably one of Korea's, or the only legacy company I know in Korea. So I do trust their light fast judgment, but there are some colors in this set that I do believe could have been replaced with more light fast options. So it definitely could have done without either the bright opera or the bright clear violet. Ironically enough, they both have bright in the name. Earth tones were really nice. The white is, you know, it's not a really opaque white. It's more of a mixing white, which you get in when you think about Chinese white. You know, it's more of a mixing white. The ivory black is, I mean, it's more of a muted black color. It's not really rich, or it's not going to give you much of a shine when you use it in heavy consistencies. It's going to be more of a matted, muted color. So those are the effects that you're going to give these colors, guys. That's what you have. I definitely suggest the paints, hands down. No questions asked, as I just told you. Great option to just add to the collection if you're a collector, if you're an art hog like me. If you're looking for a step up from a student to a professional, great brand to consider. Or if you know, are not a tenured painter and you're looking for some paints to try that, you know, because you're looking to add open stock, especially because you can get them that way, I would definitely suggest these. Hands down, I do. I love these paints. I love them. I'm considering a lot of these colors for my studio palette that I'm been working on, and I'm going to eventually get around to making. But I wanted to make it of professional paints. Of course, I want to use and review those paints before I actually decide which ones are going into the palette. But that's neither here nor there. That's videos down the road. So guys, the cost of the paints. Now, I sourced mine from Amazon, and they are currently listed for $36.48. See, guys, I told you they were not going to break the bank. I told you they were still going to be in the very affordable range that we kind of try to keep it here on the channel. Beautiful paints. I do believe that you can get them from other places. I always tell you guys that you can always put the name of the paint in the Google search engine, hit enter, then hit the shopping tab, and you will see all types of places that you may be able to source them from. But of course, I always share with you guys that my links are affiliate links. So when you use my links, I make a few pennies in commission in order to keep on this little art journey that I like to go on with you all. So yeah, definitely suggest the paints. You can get them in for about $35 to $40 on as far as the search engine was concerned. Like I said, I paid $36 for mine. They're currently, no, I'm sorry, I think I may have paid $39.99 for those paints. They're currently $36.48 on Amazon if you decide that these are something that you want to add to your art supply collection. So there you have it, guys. The entire in-depth look at the Mijello Mission Gold 2412 milliliter tube. Let's be clear. Paint set. It is definitely a suggestion, or should I say a recommendation of mine. Beautiful paints, and I will personally be using them on a regular basis. Hey, so if you saw or heard anything in this video that you liked or found helpful or useful, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. Use the comment section and let me know what you think of these paints. Have you used them? If you have, tell me what you do. Share what you do. Let me know if this is something that you think you might like, especially for the very, very affordable price that they are right now, currently at the time that this video is being released. Don't forget to share the video. Remember that sharing is caring. Someone out there may need the information even if you do not. We currently can be liked and or followed on Facebook, Instagram, as well as TikTok. Real shameless plugs. One, I am starting a new Facebook group called Watercolor Paints, Pencils, and Pastels. I'll give you guys more information about that, and we'll be linking it in some upcoming videos, or maybe linking it in earlier videos, depending on when this one files out. And also keep an ear out for the brand new gouache, the opaque watercolor for extreme beginners course that I'm going to be releasing on Teachable, which will be a really quick and in-depth look at the way I use gouache, in my painting and my artwork. And you guys have seen it. If it's something that you're interested in, if you're a beginner to gouache, someone who's interested in gouache and the things that you can do and applications that can be applied in, then this may be a course that you're interested in. I will have further information coming up about that. I do hope to have that course launched around or a little bit before Christmas. So thanks, guys. See you in the next video. And remember, as I always tell you, just keep painting.